Hello, I'm Dr. Michelle Albert, past president of the American Heart Association and a professor of medicine at the University of California in San Francisco, or UCSF. I'm here with the inaugural basic science winner of the Jack Sarver Prize being bestowed at the American Heart Association Scientific Sessions 2025. The American Heart Association's Scientific Sessions is a global premier conference of exchange of scientific ideas as well as evidence-based clinical practice changing knowledge. The Jack Sarver Prize consists of both a basic science prize as well as a clinical science prize. And I am thrilled to be here today with Zhao Zhang, the winner of the basic science prize. Jack Sarver was a person who devoted his efforts to the American Heart Association. And he unfortunately died in 1979 prematurely of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease at age 58. The American Heart Association is a science-based organization that is focused on funding and advancing scientific knowledge. And in the honor of Jack Sarver, we're here today to interview Zhao Zhang. And tell us a little bit about why you're being bestowed this prize today.
Yeah, so first I want to say that it's a really great honor to be given such a prize at my relative early stage of career. So in my lab, we normally doing science in a little bit different way. We use an unbiased phenotype first approach to studying from the phenotype first, then go back to the gene and understand mechanism. So because we believe that sometimes biology can give you much smarter answer than ourselves. So in which way we try to use different mutation in mice, try to understand the new regulators of the metabolic disease and the cardiometabolic disease, and something like obesity and lipid metabolism. So try to define this kind of root cause of cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, that's a very pragmatic approach to science, right? Because normally it is often that persons will start with the gene or the pathophysiology and then move back to the phenotype. Yeah. And tell me what specifically in terms of the abstract that you're being honored for today, tell us a little bit about that regulator of ApoB protein.
Yeah, of course. First, I want to say this was the most surprising result from our lab. This is like a gain of function mutation. That means a gene, normally if you get rid of it, you will not see a much strong phenotype. But in this case, it's a gain of function mutation. It gives a very strong phenotype. First, we noticed these mice have a very severe fatty liver with a mutation. And later we found that this might have a very, very low ApoB LDL in the circulation. And then we go back, we know the gene is a helicase, means a gene can potentially degrade nucleotides. And finally we found this is a new regulation of the ApoB on the messenger RNA level, not on the downstream. So this discovery basically find a new pathway, a new approach to regulate the ApoB and also the LDL particles at a very, very early stage. And hopefully someday we can be able to manipulate the ApoB and LDL in this way. That's a new approach to reduce the LDL and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease.
Yeah. So for our audience, the title of your abstract was Forward Genetic Screen Identifies HELZ2 as a central regulator of ApoB RNA stability linking hepatic steatosis and atherosclerosis. Yeah. So you talked about LDL levels and the reduction of cardiovascular disease. Mm-hmm. Tell us how you think that decreasing LDL levels will impact cardiovascular outcomes for patients, you hope?
Basically, ApoB is one of the major carrier of the lipid in the circulation. And in the LDL, one of the major components in the ApoB is a lipid protein, and it's one of the major risk factor. And the current approach try to decrease the ApoB or LDL to reduce the risk, especially for atherosclerosis. We have a first approach, we use statin-based medication, and now we have PCSK9-based medication. But they still have some patients, they are not respond very well to these two approaches, and some of them may have other kind of social disease. So there has a need to further decrease the ApoB and LDL. So we think this will be like maybe a new approach, trying to regulate the ApoB directly from the MI regulator level. So hopefully with this approach, we can decrease the ApoB carrier LDL and eventually reduce the risk factors especially for atherosclerosis.
And this has really great relevance in the context of this prize because, as you heard, Jack Sarver died of premature heart disease, atherosclerotic heart disease, which is exactly what you're studying as a upstream, way of thinking about how you interrupt the development and the progression of atherosclerosis, which is the condition that results in blockages in the blood vessels that give heart attacks. So this is really important in general, but has special meaning as it relates to this particular prize. Thinking about the future, if you had to look into a vision globe, what do you hope that your research will yield?
So we are doing basic research, but from the very beginning in my mind, I do want our research can be helpful and useful. So eventually we want our research can be translational from the mouse to the humans. So right now we try to use our mouse, we screen a large fraction of mouse genome. We want to try to compare our mouse result with the human genetics. We want to find some kind of overlap, and then we studying further to understand how the mutation in the humans, they might be able to contribute to a disease. And then eventually we want to find some approach to regulate similar pathway in the humans and to reduce this like cardiovascular disease risk factors.
And as you probably already know, in the late-breaking clinical trials in the session, today it's in scientific sessions, there has been a lot of exciting science presented on lipids, specifically about LDL lowering, gene editing, and lowering of triglycerides. So that must be really exciting for you and your team.
Yeah, exactly. It's very recent years, I think there's really a great advance in the translational research or the medication or the approaches for the cardiovascular disease risk factors. Especially for obesity, we all know the GLP-1 receptor-based medication to reduce the body weight, and now we have triple ligand-based approaches to further decrease the LDL. So I do think that's a great advance. So at this time, I really appreciate American Heart Association because our research is very basic, but they really see the translational potential in the future and give us this kind of honor. So we really appreciate it.
We are very honored that you're the inaugural winner of the Jack Sarver Prize 2025 and want to congratulate you and your mentors and your team as a whole. And thank you for this interview.
Yeah, thanks so much. And last thing I want to say that it's a really great honor, especially for in the first time prize. And I do have lots of pressure from now on, so I will keep my work. And really, I appreciate our support and the regulation from American Heart Association.
Yes, and we thank the Jack Sarver family for support of the American Heart Association and support of science and innovation. Thank you.
Thank you.